All right, ladies and gentlemen, MrSotko here. Welcome back to the channel. Today I got some more Bitcoin news for you guys. A little bit of that drama sauce, and then we're gonna check out some news, and then I'm gonna give my opinion on all those news pieces as usual. I also have a video coming up after this one of some more day trading that I was doing. So let's get into it. So first of all, Trayvon James has a couple videos here recently. One is the end where he is unboxing his YouTube plaque. So if you guys don't know, YouTubers receive a plaque when you have 100,000 viewers, or excuse me, 100,000 subscribers. You get a silver plaque. If you get a million, you get a gold one, and 10 million you get a platinum one, something like that. And then PewDiePie received a ruby one when he got 50 million. So it's something like that. And so he was opening that. And then his latest video is my court date is on March 16th, 2018. And it also appears that he has deleted most of his recent videos, and then he took an image of himself, the same exact image, and just flipped it on some of the videos. So apparently he just made two images and then flipped it, and then took all of his videos and turned them to this, excuse me, instead of himself giving himself selfies, which just pretty much angered me just to even look at them. So let's take a look at this. He is showing his subpoena. Well, he doesn't show the subpoena, but he talks about it, and I'll let this play for just a little moment.
It says here, this is for, you are ordered to testify before the Securities Division at the place, date, and time specified below. It's got the location, so it's not far. But I'm thinking that it's from the Office of the Attorney General Securities Division. I'm not gonna show it because I don't want people to, oh, he's here, and show up at court. But so, part of me wants to just go by myself without a lawyer.
So this video just shows, excuse me, that Trayvon James, I watched the majority of the video, and throughout the video, he is extremely naive. He's a very, very naive person. And this goes to show why him trading or ever making crypto videos in the first place was a really bad idea. So he's thinking about going to court. Basically, in the video, he's thinking about going to court without a lawyer because he believes that he is innocent, which is just a silly thing to do, to go to court for anything. Even if you know that you're innocent, always get a lawyer if you're subpoenaed to court, because it can turn around and turn against you, even if you are innocent. And that's happened numerous times. We don't even need to go into that. And then he starts going into that he has a couple kids and he thinks the judge will go lightly on him. Well, I have a child too, and if I committed a crime, I wouldn't use my child to say that I shouldn't get any kind of jail time or any kind of fine or anything like that. So what do I think will happen with this court date? Either A, nothing at all, or B, he won't go to jail, but I feel that he will end up having to pay some of the people off in terms of Bitcoin, because this all stemmed from a class action lawsuit. And it was about 6 people that were in the class action lawsuit. I can't remember it exactly now. And their losses totaled about $174,000 or something like that. So likely he will end up having to show up to court, and if he does, he will be required to pay some of those people back. Probably not all of it. They will probably do a lot of investigation in terms of how much he made, in terms of how much he should give back to those people. So it's not like he's going to be charged $174,000 exactly. Probably will just be fined a certain amount for essentially dealing securities alone. And then he goes into Crypto Bobby and how Crypto Bobby one time made a bad trade. And I'm not even sure if that's something to rip on somebody about. And I was checking his Twitter a little earlier too, but there was nothing on that, so don't even bother. And he was ripping on Crypto Bobby because he made a bad trade once. And, well, haven't we all, made a bad trade from time to time? So I'm not sure if that's something to rip on anybody about. And then he's telling all the YouTubers to not trade. Don't trade. I'm not sure why that even makes sense. So if you guys want to check out this video, again, it's on his channel. Make sure you don't like it or dislike it, because you're just going to feed his video. I'm not sure if you guys knew that or not, but likes and dislikes are actually the same thing on YouTube. They're both considered engagements. So if you don't like his video, don't do anything to it. So very interesting. And the whole time he's saying he's not scared, but he looks totally scared. I suppose I would be too if I had to go to court for the securities exchange. Might be a little intimidated, rather, maybe not necessarily scared. I'm not sure. But it clearly is shown on his face. And on top of that, he's talking about YouTubers and how everything's boring right now and how all the views are down, which he's kind of correct in that the views on a lot of YouTubers are actually really down right now, and that nobody should be trading. Just stop trading entirely, and nobody should be making YouTube videos on crypto until the price goes back up to 15,000 of Bitcoin, and that's when everybody will get into it. So he's completely naive. Everything he says in this video is just clearly a very, I can't think of any other word, but very naive tone, like a young boy talking, and like he hasn't lived life much and doesn't realize what he did, and he thinks he's totally innocent. But somebody who made hundreds of thousands of dollars via a Ponzi scheme, that is to some degree a crime. It's not like he committed murder, but either way. So another thing I want to talk about too is people leaving comments on my channel about Trayvon James. That's fine, but there are a few people once in a while that that throw out racist comments on the channel. They say one thing or the other, and it's just this one sentence of this totally racist jargon. Let's leave that out of this. That doesn't have anything to do with anything. Why? One of those kind of things. And then, when I first started making some videos on this whole thing on the BitConnect, there was, Crypto Nick and Trayvon James and whatnot. And people really wanted they wanted to display his address. They wanted to find him in public and assault him. None of that. As I said in the previous videos, even some of them were a month or two back, I was saying, well, the court is going to handle this, right? So the court will find him eventually. He will get a subpoena. There's no need to go to him. There's no need for violence. There's no need for anything racist. If he committed a crime, he committed a crime, and then, he'll have to pay it back. Is there going to be jail time? I highly, highly doubt it. I think it would just be more like he's going to have to lose some of his Bitcoin or something like that. But it is sort of a lesson to the world that these lending coins are not to be taken lightly. These lending coins and just trying to make a quick buck from these lending coins are just schemes. They're just schemes. You have to watch what you put your Bitcoin in. Watch who you send your Bitcoin to. Watch where you put your investments in Bitcoin. The only real investments in terms of Bitcoin is some ICOs, although a lot of them turn out to be scams, and you end up putting Ethereum in, and then nothing comes from it. But a lot of the money does come from ICOs, putting in some money and then getting a bunch of money when the exchange hits and selling it for a higher price than you bought it. But be careful with those. So I say the only real good way to invest into Bitcoin is either A, day trading, which is not for everybody, or B, just simply buy it and hold it, whether it be on that exchange, that's less recommended, or putting it on a nano wallet or in a paper wallet or something like that, and hold on to it for a year and then sell it, or even longer. You don't need to be putting your money into these lending programs. And what's really, really surprising about this, I almost forgot, is that he still has his link for the free Bitcoin for the lottery website, and has Genesis mining links when he's going to court. Unbelievable audacity. Unbelievable that he's going to court on March 16th. That's in like 16 days, basically. And he's still shilling links. Just my face. Can somebody insert the Star Trek meme where he's like putting his face down? Unbelievable. Anyway, let's move on. Let's move on to some crypto news. So how a single tweet wiped 90 million off Walton Chain's market cap. I have no idea what this woman has anything to do with it, but so be it. Marketing guides are filled with cautionary tales of social media faux pas that have caused brand suicide. All it takes is an insensitive tweet from a marketing intern to leave a corporation groveling in its stock in the doldrums. What? Alrighty. That was extremely interesting. Okay, so my screen just went blank for a moment and then came back. Okay, so moving on. So let's get down to it. The cryptocurrency giveaway, that was an inside job. So unlike the fake giveaways offered by lookalike Twitter accounts every single day, Walton Chain actually was giving away cryptocurrency 2.14 WTC to 100. That is a very unfortunate abbreviation. World Trade Center, WTC. Ugh, whoops. That's very unfortunate. To 100 random winners as part of Valentine's Day campaign. So 2.14. I get it. Very clever. As anyone who studied cryptography will know, genuine randomness is hard to attain. There are entire textbooks dedicated to the art of randomly generating numbers in ways that are unpredictable. Somehow, it seems one of Walton Chain's lucky winners just so happened to be a Walton Chain employee. Uh-oh. The incident would have gone unnoticed had the staffer then not tweeted their delight at winning from the official Walton Chain account. Eesh. So there are two ways that this could have gone, and I'll talk about that in a second here. So it says, "Oh my God, can't believe I won. Thank you, Walton team. Keep doing the great work." And the team was hastily deleted, or the tweet was hastily deleted, but not before it had been capped and gleefully shared all over Twitter. While Twitter traders had a field day, WTC started to dump, shredding 90 million over the next 24 hours. While not directly harming the company, the drop was a clear indicator of how the community felt about the deception. Shamed into action, Walton Chain was forced to issue an official response to the recent Twitter incident, explaining how a Walton Chain team member was among the winners and excitedly tweeted using the wrong profile. The core of this explanation is probably true, but the excuse is disingenuous. No Walton Chain employee already holding a stack of WTC would find themselves overcome with excitement at being the recipient of $50 worth of crypto. And so it was, let's see, looking at about, let's call that $23. And then, whoop, oh man, that wasn't good. So Walton Chain self-love, no lasting damage is likely to have been done to WTC's valuation or to the company's reputation account of the misfiring. It was, after all, only a modest giveaway in which one of 100 winners seems to have been an internal employee. In fact, one conspiracy theorist postulated that the entire affair was a publicity stunt by Walton Chain. That seems outlandish, but stranger things have happened. So here's the way I see this. It was two ways. Either A, they actually intended this person to receive this Walton Chain, right? So then they would tweet it, and that would get others to be like, oh, wow, I can win some Walton Chain too, and then do the same thing or invest into Walton Chain, right? So that's not good, right? Because even radio stations, like if you listen to the radio and you hear like, oh, win tickets to this concert, and the explanation at the end in like really fast text or really fast voice says that it's not available to the recipients of 101 radio station, right? Because if you're a part of that company, you can't win that prize, right? Because it looks really, really bad when you do win a prize when you're a part of that company, right? Like an inside job. So that's not good. Or two, they actually did not plan this whatsoever, and somebody won the Walton team giveaway and then tweeted on it like an idiot. So either way, it was not bad, not good at all. I don't know why anybody would tweet this, but who knows? Crazier things in the world. So Coinbase reveals overhauled changes in tax tools. This week, the popular cryptocurrency service Coinbase revealed a slew of announcements concerning certain aspects of the business. The exchange details its segregated witness or SegWit rollout, plans to disable PayPal. Thank goodness, because PayPal's awful. I really appreciate it when people donate to me, like to my channel in PayPal, because you know that's money. But PayPal's an awful service; it always has been. New tax tools and the hiring of 500 customer support agents. Thank goodness on that, because Coinbase's customer service, in my opinion, was never too bad, but I've heard so many bad things about their customer service. So I've never had a major problem with Coinbase that I needed to contact their customer service. So honestly, I've never really had to experience that, but I'm glad that they're actually hiring real people for the customer service, instead of just emailing them and then hoping, because that's the worst. That is the worst, when you have to email a corporation or a company to get a response. And you know that, like, you want that response immediately, right? Like you paid money and you didn't get your product, or like your product is defective, or this, that, or the other thing, or they ate your money, and you have to email them, and you know you're in for a long wait. When you have to email a company, that's the first thing you know, is that you're in for a long wait. It's unbelievable. And so it could be days till you get a response. And then when you do get a response, it's always like a cookie cutter response. It's just like, thank you for contacting blah, blah, blah. We've, you know, have you tried our FAQ section? And you're like, yeah, I'm pretty sure I tried that. Like, that didn't help me at all. It's not even remotely my problem. And then you have to email them and then wait for the response. It's terrible. So pretty good. So following the quick update on the SegWit rollout, Abrams reveals that Coinbase is releasing some tax reporting tools as well. Boo. Boo for taxes, unfortunately. Coinbase plans to launch this tools week as well that make paying taxes as easy as possible. Well, I guess as easy as possible is good, but at the same time, everybody in crypto wants to get away from the government, and nobody wants to pay their crypto taxes. So good luck on that. Good luck, IRS. Really. So we can go into this a little bit more, but I'm glad they're disabling PayPal services, because PayPal is just awful. It's just it's like one gigantic scam. I remember, I think it was like maybe like 2005 or 2006. I sold a processor on eBay, and I remember a scam a long time ago where you would sell something, and it was a CPU, it was an old Pentium 4 processor, and I didn't need, and I sold it. And so basically you receive a payment. So like they'll send you $100, and then they'll send you another $100. So it looks like they double payment sent you. And then what they do is they individually remove those payments, and then poof. Like, so basically you sent the product, and then you got nothing in return, because they were able to cancel those payments after they had made a second one. And eBay has come a long way in terms of customer service and getting your money back and things like that. But back in the day, back then, there was no such thing, basically. So if you got scammed, you were just totally screwed. Like, good luck getting your money back. And that actually happened to a second time. I sold a, I think it was a Barry Sanders. It was a very rare Barry Sanders football card. And I didn't sell it for much. I can't remember how much it was, like 20 or 30 bucks. And happened again to me. So I never sold anything on eBay since. So I don't like PayPal. I like receiving money on PayPal, but I'll never ever sell anything to actually get something in PayPal. So JP Morgan Chase fears crypto's disruptive competition. Well, this isn't news. Jamie Dimon's at it again. So an old man doesn't like crypto again. How shocking. That's like listening to your grandfather, you know, like, on my day, we didn't have school buses. We didn't have all this fancy Sega Genesis. We had to walk uphill both ways to school. So I can really understand, like, playing the devil's advocate here in terms of like Jamie Dimon and Warren Buffett all talking smack on Bitcoin and crypto. I get it. So playing devil's advocate here, on one side, I understand, because Jamie Dimon, whether you like him or not, is sort of a superstar in the investment world, right? He has more money than you do, kind of thing. So he has made his living off of real commodities in the stock market for as long as time has permitted, right? As long as he's been alive, basically. So when you live a certain way for 50 years doing the same thing, 40, however long he's been in the stock and in investment, you typically get really confident in that system. And then any new system that comes along, you're very wary of it. Because, I mean, just think about it. I mean, Jamie Dimon lived through the internet bubble, the dot-com bubble of the early 90s. And during that time, all these websites were making all this money and were super overvalued, and then all of a sudden it just collapsed. So he has seen, he has seen numerous bubbles in his time, and I get it. But at the same time, not having your eyes open, not having that third eye open to new things as they come along is also a bad thing as well. So perhaps cryptocurrency's largest institutional nemesis, J.P. Morgan Chase, led by the ever belligerent Jamie Dimon, it and he have taken numerous opportunities to sandbag Bitcoin and its spawn. Theories about why have long circled, but now there appears to be proof that the legacy bank is threatened by decentralized currency in digital form, according to the internal annual report. In partial fulfillment of its fiduciary duty, J.P. Morgan Chase filed an annual report. It's an exhaustive document, mostly of interest to shareholders. This year, however, it contained unusual insight into the institutional mindset of the United States' largest bank. So it makes a lot of sense. They want to downplay their competition. I suppose if I was a very competitive businessman, I would probably do the same thing. Just talk poorly about a particular thing, and it lowers the price. So it makes sense. So I'm not even going to continue in this article because it's just it's more of the usual. This one's actually kind of funny. UK Secretary Diane Abbott. If everyone used Bitcoin, the whole thing would collapse. Diane Abbott, the United Kingdom's sitting Shadow Home Secretary, said in an interview with the House magazine that Bitcoin is just a gigantic Ponzi scheme and promised that the Labour Party, of which she is a member, would regulate it if elected. Speaking to the House, Abbott said that Bitcoin could easily collapse, stressing her opinion that the UK authorities should clamp down on its spread through the rest of the economy. Abbott's opinions echo the statement that made today that the Governor Bank of England about the need to hold Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies to the same standards as the rest of the financial system. Good for you, sir, for holding it to the same financial standards, because if you don't and you get left behind, well, good luck to you. We are looking at the Bitcoin issue. One of the problems with Bitcoin is the extent to which it is just a gigantic Ponzi scheme. The Shadow Home Secretary continued her explanation of the risks posed by Bitcoin. And if everyone took their money and tried to buy a new car all at once, the whole thing would collapse. Right. What? How so? So, like, if you took your Bitcoin money and sold it, somebody else would have Bitcoin. What do you mean? Like, I don't get what she's trying to say here. Like, so if everybody at once took all their Bitcoin to a car dealership, and then you took that money to the car dealership and you said, "Here you go, I want my Lambo." Everybody did that. Then that means that the dealers, economics. She doesn't know what she's talking about. First of all, not everybody would do that, right? I guess you could say the same thing about fiat money, right? If every single person in the United States all went to a car dealership today and put in all their money and all bought a new car, then that means all of those car dealerships would have their money and then they would just reinvest it, right? They would buy new cars to fill those spots. That would give all their money to Buick. Buick would give all of their Buick and Ford and Chevy or whatever would give all of their money to their workers to buy more steel and more parts, and the money would go out again. Does she not know how economics works, or like currency in any way, shape, or form? My mind is absolutely boggled right now. The Labour MP is known as the British public for making controversial and sometimes ill-informed remarks on a range of topics. So this is kind of funny. Abbott once suggested that her party would be able to hire 10,000 people for the UK police force. So 10,000 police for a total cost of £300,000, translating to an average annual salary of £30, or a little over $40 per new officer. So this woman thought that you could hire, let's just put this into US dollars, because I know that most of my viewers are American. So if you wanted to hire 10,000 police officers and you only had $300,000, That would only give each police officer about $40 each. Or 30 pounds in this case. 300,000 would translate to $400,000, but you get what I'm saying here. So yeah, we're gonna hire police officers for $40 a year. I'm sure there's a huge line all around the block for that. Diane Abbott also tweeted that one of the lessons to be learned from the 2017 Grenfell Tower fire, if you guys didn't see that was brutal, is that the fire puts out water. Sure does. And called for the UK government to do something about the drought in the province of Davao del Norte in Indonesia, which is actually located in the Philippines. Silly. Abbott is not only the public figure to harshly criticize Bitcoin over the past month. Matthew Lesko, the free money guy who became famous in the 90s by writing books on how to get federal grants from the U.S. government, called Bitcoin a scam and a gamble in an interview with CNET. So yeah, the free money guy is calling something a scam. That makes a lot of sense. 95-year-old business partner of Warren Buffett and the vice president of the Berkshire Hathaway conglomerate said the idea of cryptocurrency is totally asinine and that it is disgusting that people buy Bitcoin. I think something that's a little bit more. Let me think of something that's more asinine. Let me just think. Let me put on my thinking cap here. How about a central bank that's run not by the actual government itself, but is run by bankers who have been a banking institution since like 300 years ago and want nothing more than to control a government's money, and able to do anything it wants and never ever get audited. They refuse to be audited. How about that for something that's totally asinine? I don't know. I'm just throwing things out there, right? But what do I know? South Korean bank plans commercial Ripple remittances by 2019. So now I know a lot of people don't like Ripple. I get it, because it's mostly sort of a bank thing, you know, and it's really used by banks. But, you know, if you want to make money, Ripple's something pretty good to get into. Right now, the price of Ripple's not doing too hot, but I feel that it'll be at least, you know, somewhere between $5 and $10 by the end of the year. And so that could be 5 to 10 times your money if you invest now. So not too bad. South Korean bank, Worry Bank, intends to introduce commercialized international remittances this year based on Ripple, a currency-powered remittance network. Local news outlet, don't even know how to pronounce that, on the back of a positive test transaction by its digital strategy department. Following initial tests in January, the bank is looking to introduce Ripple's technology to its worldwide remittances. So what's so special about Ripple? There's not anything too particularly special about Ripple itself, but banks seem to love it. And the reason why is because if you want to send, if I wanted to send $100 to somebody in Russia, or to somebody in China, or to somebody in any other foreign country, it has to go through the banking system first, or I have to use Western Union, which basically does the same thing for me. And then it costs a huge fee to do that. And it also takes several days to get through. So if I wanted to send some money to somebody in China, they're going to have to wait. They're going to have to wait a week or more to get that money. Whereas I could just send Ripple or cryptocurrency to somebody and it would be there in, you know, an hour. If that, depending on the cryptocurrency, depending on the blockchain, and yada yada. You guys get the point, but it's significantly faster. So I'm glad that more and more things are starting to use Ripple, because I do hold a little bit of Ripple. It's not like a particularly high amount in my portfolio, but rising prices are good for me, so I like that. A possible scam at South African investment group leads to 50 million loss. So nearly 50 million in crypto assets have reportedly been stolen from investors who put their money into the Bitcoin investment group BTC Global, the South African Sunday Times reported. The sole manager of investments at the company was the Forex and commodities trader Steve Twain, from whom investors received irregular payouts until Twain disappeared altogether in February 2018. So another thing that you know, you guys should watch out for is anybody that, you know, particularly all these YouTube comments. I'm sure most of you already are much smarter than this, but, you know, anybody that says that they will trade your Bitcoin for you that isn't a, you know, an actual investor. And I know in this case it was an actual investor, a Forex and commodities trader, but definitely don't give away your Bitcoin to anybody to actually trade on your behalf. You know, because it's just so easy to get away with it. I mean, it's not like the fiat industry where, you know, somebody is insured. A lot of these investors, when you go to these investors and you go into a high yield investing, a lot of times, yes, you can lose your money, but a lot of them are also insured in that they will keep your your principal, and they will just trade based off the principal. And if they lose some money, they will either give you most of it back or their insurance will back them. And so if they're sued or anything like that, they actually have just some kind of insurance to cover some of those losses at the very least. So yes, you can lose all your money in regular investing as well, but at least it has some kind of regulations on that. So with cryptocurrency, just don't do that. Don't do that at all. So we're going to skip this one. So let's check out this one for just a second here. A price analysis of Bitcoin and such. So Bitcoin trading volume is languishing at about half of the average seen during its December peak. While a few believe that this is a sign of an approaching bear market in Bitcoin, we don't agree with that point of view. Neither do I. But it is going up very, very, very slowly. It's much more controlled than it once was. It's much less exciting for some people. I think a lot of people really like that volatility of how much it went up and how much it went down at a time. And I think that's what brought a lot of people in. And I think also a lot of, social media brought a lot of people in too. I mean, even including myself. Not that I'm bringing anybody into a scam, or at least I hope not, with cryptocurrency. I just don't think crypto is a scam in general. But I try to steer people clear of clear scams that I see that are obviously a scam. But so I think a lot of people are bringing it in, and that was huge. But I think a lot of YouTubers, unlike myself, I try to pride myself on like making videos that are realistic and not how to make $1 million in, or how I'm a 17-year-old millionaire or something like that. So I mean, because you could make thumbnails and say, oh, how to make $50,000 a year with crypto, and the substance of the actual video could be nothing. It doesn't even make any sense, and it just draws a lot of people in. So during the frenzy it's seen in December last of year, it is natural to have a surge in volume because traders throw caution out the window and invest using leverage. Additionally, during a roaring bull market, many newbies enter the market to make a quick buck. A combination of these leads to a spike in volume. So just as I was saying, so they see the market shooting way up, and right now it's not doing that. So everybody's sort of steering clear of it. But I guarantee as soon as it starts to rocket upwards and goes above 15,000, you're going to see a whole bunch of people jump in again. The problem is they're going to jump in at 15,000. They're going to ride that wave up to 18,000, 19,000, and then it's going to drop right back to 10,000 again. Do I know that for sure? No, but I'm just saying if that was a possibility, that throws a lot of people out through the for a loop. They don't know how to handle that situation. They think to themselves, "Oh, I just invested $10,000." And now look at the price. But you can't really look at it that way. You can't do that. You have to understand that you still have a certain amount of Bitcoin, and you just need to wait for the price to go back up. Either that, or you need to be a skilled investor and know how to short yourself in order to, to do the math in order to short yourself to get something at a lower price, and then pick up even more Bitcoin than you had to make a quick buck out of a bear market. And most people just simply don't know how to do that. And so sure, everybody knows how to ride up a bull market. You buy and you sell, and you buy and you sell, or you hold it and then you just sell at a very high point. But as soon as it starts to go down, that just throws people for a loop. So when prices fall, most newbies are stuck with their positions because they rarely use a stop loss. Many among them would have also purchased in a falling market, exhausting their purchasing power. The only option they see now is to hold until the market recovers. This portion of the volume will not return until a price reaches the December highs. Cautions. So, yeah, well, I mean, we'll read that again here. So the only option they see now is to hold until the market recovers. This portion of the volume may not return until a price reaches the December highs. So during December, we've seen highs as high as $19,800. So that means a lot of people are stuck there. Now, you might not be stuck there, but in order to get that price up to $19,800, somebody had to buy in. Many people had to buy in at that price, and they're just sitting there stranded on a desert island until that price gets up there. When that that price gets back to 19,800, all the people sitting there, it's going to climb fast, but I'm not sure how fast. So I'm thinking maybe $25,000 to $30,000 at the end of the year. I'm not sure. I'd like to see it more than that, but I like a nice low conservative estimate. So caution traders also don't venture out in a falling market, because it is always better to trade in a market that is a clear uptrend. Both these reasons combined, oh wow, this is just like this article is like right on what I'm saying here, combined to have a fall in volume. Though we do not keep an eye on the volume, we should not get worried about this fact, because we analyze the price action and use it for our trading decisions. So BTC, in our previous analysis, we had recommended booking profits on half positions around the 10,700 mark and trailing the rest, because a breakout of the 11,400 to 12,200 resistance zone will complete an inverted head and shoulder patterns, which will be bullish for Bitcoin. So currently the bulls are attempting to break out descending channel and move towards the neckline of the inverted H and S pattern. The moving averages are on the verge of a bullish crossover, so soon we will see that if the price gets somewhere over 12,200, then it'll start gaining a lot of momentum of the people that have been holding for a long time. All of this indicates that the bulls have an upper hand right now, hence chances are that the price will continue rising to in the ascending channel. The Bitcoin US dollar pair will gain momentum at above 12,200. However, as traders, we have to be ready for any turn of events. If prices fail to break out of the 12,200, chances are that cryptocurrency will become range bound between 9,500 and 12,200 for the next few days. Therefore, traders should watch the price action at the 12,200 mark carefully and book profits if they find that Bitcoin is not able to break out of that. So I'm not going to go into Ethereum and all these in Bitcoin Cash and XRP and such. So you guys can check this article out yourself. It's just on Cointelegraph, the price analysis. So if Bitcoin goes up, rest assured that you can see the rest of the cryptos typically go up as well. So my final thoughts here. So I have been trading a little bit of Bitcoin for you guys in some videos, and I've been trading it in the marks up and down. I sort of got stuck a little bit high at the moment. I sold a little too early, and it's a little bit higher than what I want it to be at. So I'm kind of waiting till tonight. It's starting to get pretty late. It's usually when prices start to fall a little bit, and I'll get back in there pretty soon. But I will be also watching closely around 12,200. I'm not trading too much on that account that I'm showing you guys. I don't have too much Bitcoin on there. It just kind of comes in from a miner. But I do have a somewhat significant amount of Litecoin on that alternative trading account, which I have not started trading yet. But that's all I have for Bitcoin news for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Any comments, put them down below, and I'll try to get on them. But hope you guys enjoyed it. I'll see you guys next time.